Bipsy is promoting colors and candies.
The White House faces serious criticism for another foreign policy misstep.
Plus, Abby Colvin has a look at your weather.
The Bipsy News starts now.
From the studios at Bossier Parish Community College, this is Bipsy News.
Welcome into the Bipsy News for Monday, October 21st. I'm Kayla Kennedy.
And I'm Shaquille Jefferson. Kayla, why don't you start us off with a look at what's going on around campus?
In honor of National Color Day, which is observed annually on October 22nd, Bipsy students will have the opportunity to color away stress tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or while supplies last in Building F. National Color Day is a day to appreciate the natural colors of the world and to learn how colors can influence everything from our mood, productivity, and even our behavior. Students can express themselves with colors by painting a watercolor sign containing a positive message or a quote to hang on a wall for whenever they need a daily dose of colorful inspiration. Everyone is encouraged to come let their imagination run wild and find their inner artist.
The next event of the Fall 2019 Something New and Different series, sponsored by the Office of Student Life, is scheduled for this coming Wednesday, October 23rd, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Building F. The third event in the series celebrates National Caramel Apple Day, and students are invited to come by and make their own free candy apple dipped in caramel or chocolate and covered with their choice of toppings such as marshmallows, nuts, candy, sprinkles, and more. The candy apple has roots in many different regional traditions from all over the world, such as Japan, China, Australia, Brazil, France, and Germany, just to name a few of the countries that have a version of the dessert that they enjoy.
The Gay Straight Alliance at Bipsy has been hosting a supply drive for the Port City Cat Rescue that continues to the end of the month. According to the rescue, they have a need for a variety of items, including bleach, trash bags, paper towels, Purina cat chow, laundry detergents, and Lysol and Clorox wipes. Donations are being accepted in Building H, Room 120. If you would like to donate but have questions or need more information, contact Melissa Shepard at 318-678-6096.
We'll be right back after a quick break with the Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana and their plea to the community as the holiday season approaches.
Plus, Abby Colvin has your first look at this week's weather forecast, so stay tuned.
This is Abby Colvin with Bipsy Weather, and we'll be back after the break.
Most Americans think cancer will be curable within the next 25 years. What they may not know is that the risk for certain cancers can be reduced today. Worldwide vaccination against the human papillomavirus, HPV, can greatly reduce the incidence of several cancers, especially cervical cancer and oropharyngeal cancer. To that end, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says all boys and girls should be vaccinated around age 11 or 12. Unfortunately, only about 36% of girls and 14% of boys have been protected so far. To reduce the spread of HPV, the American Society of Clinical Oncology recommends 3 things: increased education for healthcare professionals, health policymakers, and parents, better access to routine HPV vaccinations, and research on the most effective ways to raise vaccination rates. To learn more about preventing cancer with HPV vaccinations, visit cancer.net/HPV.
Us. It's what this country is made of. A helping hand, a shoulder to lean on. Us is all of us. Different looks, different voices.
Hello.
One sacred bond. But right now, that bond is framed. Where do we find common ground? How do we get back to us? The why fills the gaps and bridges our divides. It's a place where we can become us again. Now, more than ever, the why needs your support. Because where there's a why, there's an us. For a better us, donate to your local why today.
150 over 90. 180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
This is Abby Cobbin with Bitsy Weather. Let's take a look at the current temperatures. In Marshall at 75, in Nacogdoches at 77, in Texarkana at 73, in Ruston at 75, and in Minden and Natchitoches at 76. Now let's head over to Bipsy. It's 73 degrees here, raining. The humidity is 45%. The dew point is 51 degrees, and the wind's coming in at north-northwest at 9 miles per hour, and the sun sets at 6:37 p.m. Now let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. On Tuesday, there's a high of 74 and a low of 48. On Wednesday, there's a high of 76 and a low of 50. Thursday, it's going to be partly cloudy with a 10% chance of rain with a high of 73 and a low of 52. Friday, there's going to be a 35% chance of rain with a high of 67 and a low of 50. And Saturday, there's going to be a 40% chance of rain with a high of 65 and a low of 51. This was Abby Colvin. Let's take it back to the news desk.
Each month, the Food Bank of Northwest Louisiana provides around 1 million pounds of food that helps feed over 35,000 people across the region. While it's not unusual for their inventory to take a dip during the summer months, according to one volunteer, it normally recovers by September. However, this year the food bank is still below the amount they think they are going to need as they head into the tough holiday season. They are asking members of the community to please help them so that they can meet the needs of the less fortunate members of the same community. Executive Director Martha Merrick said that for every dollar donated to the food bank, they are able to provide $10 worth of food to someone in need. You can also donate non-perishable food items as long as they are unopened and in their original packages with original labels. If you donate anything but still want to help, you can donate your time as they depend on volunteers for programs such as pre-packing boxes of the food to deliver to homebound or immobile seniors. There's always work to be done at the food bank, claimed Merrick, and we value our volunteers' time.
The annual Texarkana Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure event was held this past Saturday with the competitive runners that actually compete in the 5K race leaving from the start or finish line on Front Street at 9 a.m. and all other participants in the run walk starting shortly thereafter. This year's event has raised over $175,000 so far, and if you're interested in donating, you still can, even though this year's event is still technically over. Anytime at www.komen.org. Founded in 1982, the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation is the largest and best-funded breast cancer organization in the world. To date, they have provided funds of over $800 million in research alone through grants, awards, and clinical trials. They also set aside percentages from yearly donations to provide the public with health education and offer health screening services as well as pay for treatments.
Everybody knows that proper nutrition is a key part of good health. But when energy lags and you need a snack to keep you going, it can be tempting to reach for something sugary instead of something good for you. Because there's so much temptation, snacking has a bad rap. But it doesn't have to be that way. Kim Hutcherson has more in today's Health Minute.
A healthy snack can provide energy in the middle of the day and keep you from overeating at mealtime. So try these healthy snack hacks. First and foremost, avoid the junk food. If you have to keep sugary snacks in your home, put them where they're hard to see or reach. Don't spend money on pre-packaged snacks. Buy healthful choices in bulk and divide out your portions yourself at home. This will keep you from eating too much at one time. It also allows you to tailor your snacks to your specific health needs, like subbing in unsalted nuts and homemade trail mix. Give your veggies a kick with healthy dips or spreads like hummus or tzatziki. Try to vary your vegetables to include green, red, and orange options. Bring your ready-to-eat snacks with you so you have power over your snack choices. Stock up on whole fruits like bananas, apples, and oranges. They're easy to throw into a bag and provide natural sugars rather than the processed kind. And give yourself a nutrient blast by combining food groups. Yogurt and berries, apples and peanut butter, or whole grain crackers with turkey and avocado. For today's Health Minute, I'm Kim Hutcherson.
Still to come, the Brexit protests take another delaying turn.
And the president pushes ahead with a heavily criticized foreign policy decision.
In late August, Hurricane Harvey made landfall along the Texas coast. In early September, Hurricane Irma hit the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Florida. Before Harvey and Irma even landed, preparations were underway to save homes, businesses, and lives. The American Red Cross was there. Throughout our response to both of these major hurricanes, we have provided nearly 1 million overnight stays in more than 900 shelters across Texas and Florida. Our work continues today and will for months to come, and the American people have been unfailingly generous. Thousands of volunteers have left their homes and families to provide 24/7 support to those in need, providing food, water, comfort, and hope. Our partners have stepped up to support our work again and again. To this, we say thank you. Those affected will recover and rebuild. And to that we say, the American Red Cross stands with you. As long as it takes, we will be there.
Bless you guys.
Remodeling a kitchen can be easier than many realize. For one thing, instead of going through the trouble and expense of installing new custom cabinets, give your current ones a coat of paint, new pulls and knobs, or perhaps new doors. For another, you needn't change every appliance. Get a new look by changing the most used one, the sink. Those from Blanco save space on the counter and make cleaning and prepping easy. Sill granite sinks are impervious to scratches, chips, and stains, while the company's newest stainless steel material, Duranox, resists fingerprints and scratches. Little things can make a big difference. Custom stainless grids and elegant drain covers and strainers can make prep work more pleasing, cleanup less complicated, and entertaining an event reserved for graciously accepting compliments. Grids that float inside the sink to dry dishes, elevate pots or wash vegetables. Colanders and cutting boards that can sit on top of the sink or on a specially engineered ledge save counter space and pep up prep work. Learn more at BlancoAmerica.com. Most Americans will need long-term care at some point, and it's not covered by Medicare or health insurance. Fortunately, a life settlement can be the answer. You sell your life insurance policy to an investor and get an immediate cash payment that's generally 4 or more times greater than you'd get for a lapsed or surrendered policy. The investor pays the premiums and collects the benefit when the time comes. Learn more from the Life Insurance Settlement Association and find life settlement professionals at lisa.org.
In what has been easily one of the president's most criticized and ultimately strangest foreign policy decisions to date, the U.S. troop movement in Syria is fully underway. The movement is the largest of ground troops in Syria and effectively marks the symbolic end of a major U.S. presence in the area. While the long-term effects of a U.S. withdrawal will take years to fully realize, experts from the Institute for the Study of War, along with several retired members of our armed services and intelligence organizations, almost all agree that the president's decision will end up costing America a heavy price. One of the biggest concerns involving abandoning the best ally we have against terror groups in the area, the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, who are now under attack from Turkey and Russian-backed forces, as well as newly emboldened jihadists reforming in the region. It also sends a bad message to any possible future allies that the United States doesn't have the backs of the people they are supposed to be supporting. Trump has so far remained undeterred by the negative criticism and continued to push ahead while telling the media everyone thinks it's a great idea and it's going great.
Once again, British lawmakers were engaged in the politics of Brexit inside Parliament, while the British citizens engaged in protest outside. People were marching through the streets of central London while calling for a second referendum on leaving the EU. Some of the organizers believe up to 1 million people took part in the protest. Then at the end of the second Parliament voted to delay the Boris bill that Prime Minister Boris Johnson brought back from a strategy session trip to Brussels, which effectively means they are delaying the deadline again while they try and figure out a better solution. Speaking afterward, the British Prime Minister was his usual confusing self, proclaiming, "Alas, the opportunity to have a meaningful vote has effectively been passed up because the meaningful vote has been voided of meaning."
A firefighter takes a tumble off a roof and keeps fighting, and a haunted car wash is equal parts freaky and frothy. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
A tense house fire turned even scarier when a firefighter fell from a flaming roof. It happened in Los Angeles. Crews were battling a one-story house fire in Sun Valley. As they worked on top of the structure, one firefighter lost his footing. Thankfully, officials say he wasn't seriously hurt in the fall, and he even shook off the tumble and got right back up on the roof. No other injuries were reported in the blaze, which crews were able to contain in about 20 minutes. And now, for a different type of scary. Super scary. And squeaky clean. That's how customers might describe this haunted car wash in Brunswick, Ohio. The Rainforest Car Wash starts off like any other, but beware, there's evil inside, as employees in creepy costumes lurk amongst the machinery. It's all in good, clean fun and appears to be a Halloween trend at car washes around the nation. But thrill seekers visiting these spooky seasonal shows be warned. At these car washes, it's the inside of the car that may get a little wet. Well, take a look at this. I'm Jeremy Roth.
We have our final break coming up, and when we get back, Joker finally falls from #1 at the box office.
Plus, Abby Colvin has her weather recap where we will take another look at the most up-to-date 3-day forecast. Don't go anywhere. The Bipsy News will be right back.
For many young men, the road to a good education and career begins with a single, simple step: registering with the Selective Service. Registration is required for many college loans, grants, and scholarships, job training programs, and millions of jobs. In many places, you need to register at the time you get your driver's license. Be sure to check. Fortunately, it's easy. You can get help at your school, find a mail-in form at the post office, check the box on the FAFSA form, or register online at sss.gov, where you can also learn more about taking this important step.
You've seen how recent hurricanes have devastated whole communities, flooding and destroying homes. Join Habitat for Humanity as we work with families to repair and rebuild. You can help someone desperately in need of a place to call home. We will rebuild, but only with your help. Visit Habitat.org to support Habitat's work.
Head lice? It's likely your child will be exposed to lice at some point. Don't freak out. A range of pesticide-free treatment and daily prevention solutions is available. If your child gets lice, Vamoose Lice Treatment's easy-to-apply mousse takes care of both lice and eggs. Vamoose kills lice by gut rupture and dehydration. It even kills super lice, which are resistant to pesticides and common OTC treatments. Vamoose kills nits before they hatch, so unlike products requiring a repeat treatment for hatching eggs, Vamoose works in one application. Most Americans will need long-term care at some point, and it's not covered by Medicare or health insurance. Fortunately, a life settlement can be the answer. You sell your life insurance policy to an investor and get an immediate cash payment that's generally 4 or more times greater than you'd get for a lapsed or surrendered policy. The investor pays the premiums and collects the benefit when the time comes. Learn more from the Life Insurance Settlement Association and find life settlement professionals at lisa.org.
At least one thing in your life is easy to control. Fujitsu offers a full line of energy-efficient ductless heating and cooling systems that lets you control the individual temperature in each room, no matter what's going on. And our new Wi-Fi enabled systems allow you to control it from anywhere. This means customized comfort and energy savings, where and when you want it, at your control. Fujitsu. Infinite comfort. To learn more, visit fujitsugeneral.com.
Every day, visionaries are creating the future. So every day, we put our latest technology and unrivaled network to work. The United States Postal Service makes more e-commerce deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country. Because the future only happens with people who really know how to deliver it.
Angelina Jolie shook up the box office over the weekend when Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, the sequel to her 2014 film Maleficent, topped the box office with an estimated $36 million in its debut. The new film comes 5 years after Disney gave us the Sleeping Beauty alternative story that also stars Elle Fanning as Aurora. The new film at the top spot means the following 2 weeks at #1, Joker was finally bumped to the second position, although it still brought in over $29.2 million to bring its 3-week domestic total up to $247 million so far. Another sequel that was making its premiere over the week rounds out the top 3 as Zombieland Double Tap came in at $26.7 million. The new zombie film comes a full decade after the original, but brought in a decent opening weekend considering.
Paul Rudd has a new show that debuted on Netflix over the weekend, and for this one, he brings out twice the charm. The Rudd-led project features the Marvel alum as a regular guy who is faced with being replaced by a literal better version of himself. The show, titled Living with Yourself, has Rudd playing 2 versions of the same character, Miles Elliott, often within the same scenes. Rudd has managed to stay busy since the craziness of his Marvel role has died down. He is currently working on the Ghostbusters reboot, while Living with Yourself airs on Netflix with the first 8 episodes already available on demand. The pilot made some news last week when it was discovered it features a very small cameo by Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. In the 5 to 6 second appearance, Brady is seen walking out of a strip mall day spa that the writers swear was not meant to make light of the Patriots owner and Brady's friend Robert Kraft, who was caught in a situation earlier this year involving a similar-looking strip mall day spa.
Today in entertainment news, one Oscar winner ties the knot while another goes on the attack. David Daniel has that and more in the Hollywood Minute.
Jennifer Lawrence is a married woman. The Oscar-winning actress wed Manhattan art dealer Cook Maroney on Saturday at a massive mansion in Newport, Rhode Island.
This comes as an extraordinary surprise.
Martin Scorsese's attack on Marvel movies has gotten some Oscar-winning backup. At a press conference in France, Francis Ford Coppola said he agreed with Scorsese that the popular superhero films are not cinema, calling them the same movie over and over again, and despicable.
The King and Queen are coming to Downton.
What? Downton Abbey has set a record. After its 5th weekend in theaters, the big screen update of the British TV series has made more than $88 million. Focus Features' highest grossing movie ever at the domestic box office. The studio's previous record holder, Brokeback Mountain, which made $83 million back in 2005. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
We're about finished for today, but let's take one last look at your weather with Abby Colvin at the Weather Recap.
This is Abby Colvin. Now let's take a look at the out-the-door weather. Today it's raining with a high of 75 and a low of 51. Tuesday there's a high of 74 and a low of 48. And Wednesday there's a high of 76 and a low of 50. This was Abby Colvin. Let's take it back to the news desk.
And that will do it for us today. For the Bipsy News, I'm Kayla Kennedy.
And I'm Shaquille Jefferson. From all of us to each of you, thanks for tuning in, and we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.